The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
A warm welcome to all my dear 9th standard children. So how are you all engaging yourself? Last week some of you were here to show the files to subject teachers. I understood that some of you are spending most of your valuable time in mobile games. From your eyes I could understand that. Once in Mahabharata war, Lord Krishna was driving the chariot into the war area. Arjuna was sitting in the back. And because of the commotion and noise, both of them were not able to hear anything. Usually, the one sitting in the chariot gives instructions which way to turn, whether left or right. So, both of them were unable to do this. So, do you know what Lord Krishna said? Arjuna, place both your legs on my shoulders. When you want to turn left, move the left leg. And if you want to turn to right, move the right leg. So, Lord Krishna is God and Arjuna is human. That doesn't matter here. What are your responsibilities? That matters. So, what are your responsibilities? It's a very challenging situation out there. How you emerge out of this challenging situation matters a lot. It's a time you have to push yourself because nobody else is going to do that for you. You don't have a routine. Earlier or last year, till last year, you had a schedule. Getting up early, coming to classrooms, sitting in classrooms, listening to classes. So there was a schedule, regular class tests. Now, because of this pandemic era, we are missing out all these. So that doesn't mean that you have to sway away from your responsibilities. I hope you understand, children. So shall we move into our today's topic? Before that, what did we learn in our last class? We were into the 3rd chapter, isn't it? Redox reactions and the rate of chemical reactions. First, we understood that mass can neither be created and nor be destroyed. The amount of reactants will be equal to that of product, and the number of atoms in the reactants will be equal to the number of atoms in the product too, through law of conservation of mass proposed by Lavoisier, isn't it? After that, we learned what is oxidation and reduction in redox reactions. What are redox reactions? They are chemical reactions where oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. Okay? We saw a lot of redox reactions in our everyday life, like rusting of iron, digestion process, breathing, respiration. All these are some of the redox reactions. We saw some chemical reactions also, isn't it? And we identified which is the oxidation reaction and which is the reduction reaction based on the loss and gain of electrons. That was the main concept. Based on the loss and gain of electrons, we defined what is oxidation and reduction. Thereby, we also identified which is the oxidizing agent and which is the reducing agent, isn't it? Now, we are moving to one more theory of oxidation and reduction, and here it is not based on the loss and gain of electrons, but it is based on the oxidation number. What is oxidation number? It's just a number which is equal to valency. Let us take an ionic compound. NaCl is an ionic compound. How does it split, or what happens in an ionic compound? Shall we write the ionic equations? So this is the ionic equation for the reaction between sodium and chlorine. So here this is oxidation reaction because sodium is losing electron, of course. And what happens here? Chlorine is gaining electron. So this is reduction reaction. And which is the oxidizing agent? Chlorine is the oxidizing agent because chlorine is getting oxidized. Which is the oxidizing agent? Chlorine is the oxidizing agent and sodium is the reducing agent. The one which gives away electron is the reducing agent, and the atom which gains electron is the oxidizing agent. This is what we learnt in the previous class. Now, based on one more theory, what is that theory? It is based on oxidation number. Now, what is the oxidation number of sodium? Here, sodium has gained one positive charge. So, the oxidation number is +1. Okay, how many electrons is lost? We have put charge according to that. Since sodium has lost only one electron, we have put +1. How about chlorine? Chlorine has also accepted one electron. So it is -1. So the oxidation number of sodium is +1 and the oxidation number of chlorine is -1. How about sodium and chlorine atoms? What are the oxidation number of atoms? These are all ions. Sodium is a cation, chlorine is an anion. How about atoms? So the condition is atoms are neutral. Okay, we all know atoms are neutral. Why? Why is an atom neutral? Because equal number of protons and electrons. So an atom is neutral. So what is the oxidation number of sodium? 0. And how about chlorine? 0. Sodium and chlorine are atoms, that is before reaction. After reaction they change into ions. So now we will analyze these equations based on the oxidation numbers. Here sodium, the oxidation number is 0, and here the ionic sodium has oxidation number +1. So what happens? The oxidation number increases from 0 to +1. So there is an increase here, isn't it? 0 to +1, there is an increase. So this reaction is called oxidation reaction. What happens? If the oxidation number of an atom increases in an equation, then that process is said to be an oxidation process. What happens here? The chlorine, for chlorine, the oxidation number changes from 0 to -1. So the oxidation number is getting decreased here, isn't it? So there is a decrease in the oxidation number 0 to -1. If the oxidation number of an atom decreases, then that reaction is called reduction reaction. And how about these agents? An atom where the oxidation number increases, it is reducing agent. If the oxidation number increases, then it is reducing agent, and if the oxidation number decreases, that atom is oxidizing agent. Okay, I hope you have understood. This is for ionic compound. Okay, how about a covalent compound? This happens, that is transfer of electrons, loss and gain of electrons happens only in ionic compound. So how about a covalent compound? We will see. Children, I have taken an equation here. H2 plus Cl2 gives 2HCl, isn't it? So HCl is a covalent compound. HCl is a covalent compound. There is no loss and gain of electrons, but just sharing between electrons. So what happens here? What about the oxidation numbers for these atoms? For covalent compounds, there are conditions. For a covalent compound, we should assume that electrons are being shifted. Okay, already we have studied in polar nature that there is a slight shift, isn't it? I hope you remember this. There is a slight shift of electrons towards chlorine. So chlorine gets delta negative and hydrogen gets delta positive. Partial electrical charges exist in a polar compound. So we should assume that the electrons are completely shifting to chlorine, and we should assume that it has been shifted from hydrogen also. So what happens? Shifts. We are assuming a shift here. So we can put charge accordingly. Since only one pair of electron is shifted on both sides, only one pair of electron. How many pairs? One pair. We will assume that chlorine gets -1 and hydrogen gets +1. Okay? We will assume, since only one pair of electron is shifted, we will assume chlorine gets -1 and hydrogen gets +1. These are the oxidation numbers for hydrogen and chlorine in the covalent compound HCl. Okay? Now we will assign charges, that is oxidation numbers for the elements. So here it is +1, here it is -1. Okay? Now how about hydrogen and chlorine molecules? That plays the second role. The second condition says that for a covalent compound, the first condition is we have to assume that there is a shift, okay, according to the number of electrons shared. The second condition says that for a molecule, that is diatomic molecule, the oxidation number is always 0. Why is it so? Because both of them have equal electronegative values. Okay. So what is the oxidation number of hydrogen and chlorine molecules? 0. Now we have assigned oxidation number for all the atoms present in this equation. Now we will analyze one by one. Let us take the case of hydrogen. So hydrogen, what happens in the case of hydrogen? 0 to +1. The oxidation number increases from 0 to +1. In case of hydrogen, the oxidation number increases from 0 to +1. So this is a oxidation reaction and hydrogen is getting oxidized. And so it will be the reducing agent. Hydrogen is a reducing agent. Okay. Now how about chlorine? We'll take chlorine. We'll take the case of chlorine. 0 to -1. We'll note it down, isn't it? So what happens here? There is a decrease in the number of, there is a decrease in oxidation number. If the oxidation number is decreasing, then that process will be reduction process and chlorine is getting reduced. And chlorine is the oxidizing agent. So I hope you have understood what is oxidation and reduction based on the oxidation number. So if the oxidation number increases, that process is oxidation process and that atom or element is getting oxidized and it will be a reducing agent. Okay. Now if there is a decrease in the oxidation number, if the oxidation number decreases in a reaction, then that reaction is called reduction reaction. That element is getting reduced and that element will be the oxidizing agent in that particular reaction. Yes, I know you are getting confused. We will analyze one more example. Children, whenever you listen to these classes, keep a rough note and pen with you, so that along with me you can also write and practice. Okay? Children, I have taken a reaction which is given in your textbook, that is carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide. Now we will look into the oxidation number of these atoms. Carbon before reaction, it is always neutral, so the oxidation number is 0. Oxygen being a diatomic molecule, definitely the electronegative values are same, so the oxidation number is going to be 0 here. After reaction, the carbon has the oxidation number +4 and oxygen has the oxidation number -2, but we have 2 oxygen atoms here. Okay, now we will analyze what is oxidation and reduction based on the oxidation numbers. Let us take carbon first. What happens in the case of carbon? The oxidation number increases from 0 to +4. Shall we note it down? So what reaction is this? If the oxidation number increases, what is the reaction? It is oxidation reaction. Carbon is getting oxidized. Oxidation reaction, carbon is getting oxidized and carbon is a opposite, reducing agent. Okay, so this is clear. Now we will take what happens to oxygen. Okay, what happens in the case of oxygen? 0 to -2. Okay, we'll note it down. So what happens here? The oxidation number is getting decreased here. So if the oxidation number decreases, what reaction is it? It is reduction reaction. Children, I am writing it in short form. Okay, don't use this. Okay, reduction reaction. Oxygen is getting reduced and definitely oxygen is a oxidizing agent. So I hope it's more clear now. Okay, many more examples are given in your textbook. We will do one more example. So I have taken one more reaction which is given in your textbook. These reactions are all redox reactions. Why? Because oxidation and reduction both are happening simultaneously. Okay, you must understand that. So here 2Na plus Cl2 gives 2NaCl. That's a reaction. Now we will write what happens to both the atoms. In case of sodium, the oxidation number, look at the oxidation number, changes from 0 to +1. If the oxidation number increases from 0 to +1, what happens? That reaction is oxidation reaction. Sodium is getting oxidized and sodium is a reducing agent. Okay, is it clear now? One more atom is there, that is chlorine. What happens to chlorine? The oxidation number decreases from 0 to -1. We'll note it down. So if the oxidation number decreases, the process is reduction. Chlorine is getting reduced and chlorine is an oxidizing agent. So I hope this part is clear for you. one more rule is there, that is the third rule. It says that if you add the oxidation numbers of a compound, you will get 0. Shall we try? What is the oxidation number of sodium here? +1. What is the oxidation number of chlorine? -1. So what happens if you add these both? What is the answer you get? 0. So this rule helps us to find out the oxidation number of missing elements. In a compound, if oxidation number of one element is given, then we can easily find out the oxidation number of other element. How? You should get 0. When you add both the oxidation numbers, you should get 0. Then it is easy to find out. So these are the 3 simple rules. Okay. What was the first rule? For a covalent compound, you should assume that the electrons are shifting on both sides. Okay. If it is shifting to one side, that sided element will get negative charge and the other sided element gets a positive charge. Rule number 2 says that before reaction, all the atoms and molecules, the oxidation number will be 0. That is before reaction, this side. And one more, that is third rule says, if you add the oxidation numbers of the elements in a compound, you must get 0. That is the third rule. So based on these 3 rules, we can determine the oxidation numbers, which we will be discussing in the next topic. Okay. Now we will take one more reaction which is given in your textbook. My dear children, this is the last reaction which is given in your textbook. Okay. Let us analyze the redox reaction. Okay. Zinc plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2, zinc chloride plus hydrogen. Okay. Now look into the oxidation number of all these elements. How many elements are there? Zinc, hydrogen, chlorine. So 3 different types of atoms are there. Look at the oxidation number of zinc. It's 0. Why? Because before reaction, the element is neutral. Here, HCl is a covalent compound. So it's definitely going to have some charge. So hydrogen, it's +1. Chlorine, it is -1. Why is it so? Because we are assuming the pair of electrons have shifted to chlorine side. That is why chlorine gets a negative charge and hydrogen gets a positive charge. How many pairs of electrons are shifted? 1 pair. That is why we have used +1 and -1. Based on the number of electrons shifted, we will put the numbers. We will assign numbers. Okay. Zinc chloride. Zinc gets a +2 charge. That is, the oxidation number is +2 and chlorine gets -1. Hydrogen, see, it's a molecule. So naturally the oxidation number is going to be 0. Okay. So now we are going to analyze what happens to all these 3 atoms. Zinc, hydrogen and chlorine. What happens to zinc? 0 to +2. Okay. 0 to +2. We will see what happens to hydrogen. +1 to 0. What happens to chlorine? -1 to -1. So chlorine, there is no change. So we will put it in a box. No need to analyze anything about chlorine. These are the 2 elements which undergo change. Now zinc, the oxidation number has changed, increases, isn't it? Increases from 0 to +2. So naturally it is oxidation process, and zinc is getting oxidized and zinc is a opposite reducing agent. How about hydrogen? Hydrogen, the oxidation number decreases. See, +1 to 0. So there's a decrease. So this reaction is reduction reaction. hydrogen is getting, yes, reduced, and here hydrogen is the oxidizing agent. But does hydrogen exist as hydrogen in reactant site? How is hydrogen existing? It is existing as a compound. What is a compound? HCl. So we cannot say hydrogen is the reducing agent. We should say HCl acts as a reducing agent. How about the oxidation numbers? Let us take the oxidation number of zinc chloride. What is the oxidation number of zinc? +2. Chlorine, what is the oxidation number? -1. What happens when you add these both? Will you get a 0? No. So it doesn't suit the third rule. But we have to think more clearly. Chlorine, 2 atoms are there. 2 atoms are there. So you have to multiply 2 into -1. So how much is it? -2. Okay. So chlorine has totally -2 charge. Zinc has +2 charge. So +2 and -2, it's 0. Okay. It should be always like that. In a compound, when you add the oxidation numbers of the combining elements, you must get a 0. Otherwise it is wrong. Somewhere you have made wrong. Okay. So that should be clear. I hope you have understood what is oxidation, reduction, which atom is getting oxidized and which atom is getting reduced, and which is the oxidizing agent and which is the reducing agent. I hope it is clear. We have studied oxidation and reduction based on 2 terms. First method was, it was based on the loss and gain of electrons, and the second method is, yes, it is based on the oxidation number. Okay, it is a number. What is oxidation number? It's a number along with charge. Charge must be mentioned. Okay, it is based on the number of electrons lost, gained or shared. Okay, children, for the sake of understanding better, I have written 2 equations here. We are going to analyze these equations with both the methods we have studied. Okay, what is the first equation? Mg plus Cl2 gives MgCl2. Here it is an ionic compound. So we are writing the ionic equations first. What are the ionic equations? Mg turns into Mg2 plus by giving away 2 electrons. The other equation is 2 chlorine atoms are accepting these 2 electrons and changing into chloride ions. So here we can see there is a loss of electron. So this reaction is oxidation reaction. Magnesium is getting oxidized and opposite. Magnesium is the reducing agent. To remember, we can memorize like that. It will be, this will be, the agent will be quite opposite of the other 2. Okay. Now, chlorine, there is a gain of electrons. So it is reduction reaction, reduced, chlorine is getting reduced and chlorine is an oxidizing agent. Okay. Now this is the second method based on the oxidation number. This method is based on loss and gain of electrons, whereas this method is based on oxidation number. What is the reaction? H2 plus Cl2 gives 2 HCl. So HCl is a covalent compound. Okay. So here hydrogen and chlorine, they are molecules, they have oxidation numbers 0. Hydrogen, the number is +1 and chlorine -1. Oxidation number should always have a charge, unlike valency. Valency represents only the number, whereas oxidation number, it has both number and charge. So what happens here? Look at hydrogen. The oxidation number increases from 0 to +1, isn't it? If the oxidation number increases, that process is oxidation process. Hydrogen is getting oxidized and opposite. Hydrogen is the reducing agent. How about chlorine? Chlorine, look at the oxidation number 0 to -1. So what happens here? If the oxidation number decreases, it is getting decreased. That process is reduction process. Chlorine is getting reduced, and the opposite. Chlorine is the oxidizing agent. So my dear children, I hope you have understood how to find out these terms in both the methods. Okay, both the methods should be memorized correctly, and these are the equations or these methods. They cannot be read and memorized. You have to practice it, write and practice, then only it will be clear for you. Okay, now next week I will come up with one more topic based on oxidation numbers. We will meet soon, but don't forget your responsibilities.